It would be misleading to call Eli Roth's Death Wish a remake of the controversial 1974 movie of the same name. The original Death Wish was a serious drama that asked difficult questions about the personal and societal impact of violence. The new film is a shallow action thriller that decides early on that vigilante violence is awesome and has few negative consequences. The new Death Wish stars Bruce Willis as Paul Kersey, an affluent doctor and family man whose wife and daughter become victims of a home invasion.
Can you please come down here?
His wife now dead and his daughter in a coma, Paul Kersey struggles with his grief and becomes increasingly frustrated with the police department, who don't seem to have any leads. Feeling powerless and paranoid, he decides to get himself a gun. A few minutes later, Death Wish starts blaring AC/DC's Back in Black at full volume while Paul trains to use his newfound weapon. This is not a subtle movie. What follows is a mediocre action thriller in which Kersey exacts vigilante justice on criminals in his neighborhood and is then celebrated by the media for murdering criminals in the streets. Their debates about the morality of Paul's actions ultimately invite the audience to come to their own conclusions, which might have been reasonable if the movie didn't clearly side with Kersey in every way.
Well, whatever you're doing, keep it up.
Okay, I will.
Paul Kersey doesn't just kill criminals, he's empowered by it. His fury is ratified by the community. When another character finally does find out about a secret, their concern is only how to keep Paul from being arrested, not how to get him help. Meanwhile, the cast does what little they can with the material. Bruce Willis excels at being flippant and shooting people, but he looks completely lost the rest of the time. Elizabeth Shue brings dignity and tragedy to her brief time on screen, and Vincent D'Onofrio has almost no impact on the story to the extent that you wonder why he's even in the film. Eli Roth has spent most of his career making horror movies that bring up big philosophical ideas and then only deal with them in the broadest possible strokes, relying on gut-punch violence to entertain his audience between bullet points. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But even if you consider the new Death Wish in a vacuum, free from any thematic commentary, it's not a particularly good action movie. It's got an incredibly thin story that relies on total coincidences to move from one important plot point to another. Death Wish takes the serious topic of vigilante violence and reduces it to melodramatic hero worship, and it's not even particularly good at that. The action is forgettable, and the plot barely holds together. Any attempt to take the theme seriously yields unpleasant and disturbing takeaways about why it's totally okay for some people to commit acts of horrific violence, but not okay for anyone else. Thanks for watching. For more movie reviews, check out what we thought of Red Sparrow and Mute. And as always, be sure to like and subscribe to IGN on all your favorite platforms.